Hey guys, welcome to my Black Widow movie review, our review.
Yeah, don't forget about me.
This will be spoiler free, with the exception of maybe like a little Endgame spoiler.
But everyone saw Endgame.
And yeah, it's been a long time since we've been able to go to the theater to watch a Marvel movie. And even though we have Disney Plus, we're like, you know what, freaking let's go to the theater, yeah. And yeah, the theater experience, it was freaking worth it, dude. And don't let me get into what happened when we got home. Hours trying to take the freaking ring off. I had to call the EMTs, and it looked like that scene in Infinity War, like the Avengers trying to take Thanos' glove off.
But Black Widow!
Yeah, and the wait is over. This thing was delayed. I mean, 19, 20, 21. I gotta tell you personally, I think it is a little too late, because to me, this really should have come out in 2012, but I think it's a great step forward for Marvel when it comes to dealing with like female lead roles in superhero movies. Because Marvel, their formula is freaking perfect. It's great. You know what I mean? It's repetitive, but it never really sucks. Well, almost never. But once Wonder Woman made money and Marvel was like, you know what? We're finally going to do like the female superhero thing. They give it to Captain, let me speak to your manager. Because, no, dude, I mean, you look at her, she just looks like she's going to complain to the freaking store manager.
The attitude. Oh.
Yeah, and you don't write her likable, because she is yeah. And then when Marvel tries to do it in Endgame, we have like that estrogen attack.
Oh, God.
It was just so...
Forced.
That scene in Endgame was so cringeworthy forced. I thought it was going to take the female, like women back like decades, like where like they couldn't vote it anymore. Like I didn't want that, you know what I mean? Because women deserve rights, and girl power is awesome. Black Widow is a huge step in the right direction, and Marvel did girl power right here, dude. It wasn't like, you know, like obnoxious. It wasn't stupid. It felt good. It felt organic.
Yeah, it wasn't in your face at all. It felt very subtle and organic and just...
You were saying last night, like, yeah, it doesn't feel very Marvel, like, none of...
No, it felt very dark, like kind of DC almost.
Yeah, there were some moments that you're like, oh, this is a little more DC, because it's not so colorful like Marvel is, but I don't think it's DC. I think Marvel's still Marvel.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I think it's more James Bond, Jason Bourne. I know you're not a big Bond fan or any of that stuff. I love James Bond. It's very like James Bond, Jason Bourne type vibe. They even make a little, like, they even have a little, like, a little thing with James Bond in it, which is kind of cute.
What was the thing?
I'm not going to say because I don't want to ruin it. It's spoiler free. Maybe somebody wants to get surprised by that. Whatever. It's not a big deal. But it's cool to see it. So it's like the movie's self-aware with that. And not just that. It's self-aware with other things too, which is fun. And not just fun, but funny. Like, there's a lot of good humor in this movie.
A lot of good humor, and it's not in your face at all.
No, it's not like some big comedy, not at all. But whenever it does the humor, it's like self-aware stuff. There's like a little joke I'm not going to get too into, but it's an ongoing joke about like how a superhero poses or stands, and it's so freaking great. And I'm like, yeah,
and it doesn't beat the joke to the ground either. It's really funny.
Every time it comes up, it's great. So it's like little things like that. Like the movie gets itself, and it's smart, and it's cool. And it does have a lot of Avenger references that are interesting. They're fun. They're cute. It does feel very grounded in the beginning, but believe me, this is still a superhero movie. Mm-hmm. Yes, because Black Widow should have died about 10 times in this film. You like, I mean, there's a certain fall where you're like, bah, 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 and you're just like, she just gets up and she's like, hey, like, she didn't even do this one, dude. Like, she was fine. Like, how is she not part of Dominic Toretto's crew? Like, she should be part of the Fast and Furious crew, bro, because she's indestructible. In fact, I saw that fall, and I'm like, okay, maybe that thing didn't happen to you in Endgame, because you probably just got up when the camera went to the next scene, and we're like, oh, I'm fine. The hair's messed up. Let me just keep walking. So she's probably going to be in the next Avenger movie. You never know, dude. Probably. Speaking about the Fast and Furious, this movie is about family. Familia. Yes, this movie really is. Yeah, it tries to hit some good tones. The chemistry with the actors is freaking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the two sisters. Oh, it's awesome. Now, one negative I do have to say is that it does tend to drag a little bit in some places. Just a little bit.
Yeah, when it drags, it drags.
But I don't think for long periods of time. It just does it a few times, and when it does, you're just like, oh. But it's not too bad. It's not. And listen, the Marvel stuff does come where you're like, okay, it's not James Bond anymore. We're like straight up Marvel now. And it's fun. It's like seeing an old friend because you haven't done it in the theater for so long. And by the way, that white suit, it's so badass. Cool. It is freaking so badass, dude. Yeah. Like she's got to wear that all the time.
Well, not anymore.
There's alternate universes with Spider-Man and all this stuff.
They're not going to pull a Fast and Furious and bring her back to life.
Why not? She deserves better. And I will say, though, the CGI is mostly good in this.
Mostly. There are some parts where the CGI is laughable.
It's.
You can tell they rushed some parts.
Yeah, there's some CGI that was not finished here.
Yeah, it's like it's edited in iMovie.
I do my videos on iMovie, dude. And with the Marvel formula, you are going to get that crazy over-the-top third act. But it's fun. It's welcomed because we've been starving for it. Mm-hmm. You know, and I will admit that, you know, as far as with the Black Widow character, sure, there aren't any, like, real stakes because, you know, this is kind of a prequel and she is in other films. Mm-hmm. So, like, and you've seen it in the trailer, there's, like, this huge fall with all these things happening and all this stuff going on. And you're like, no, I mean, like, you know, that fall, you know, she's going to be fine from that fall. Mm-hmm. That's not the fall that...
Oh my god, horrible! Oh my god.
That one's fine, just not, you know.
No, shut up. You're not my dad.
And yeah, going back to it, to me, Black Widow is about redemption, and not just for the character, but also for Marvel. And yeah, this was solid. I think I would have liked it more if it came out when we already kind of forgotten about her. Like, I mean, that event that happened that we were all like, oh, Black Widow... That was 2 years ago, dude. We've already like gone through, you know, like we've moved on. So it's nice to see her, but it's like this movie would have been cooler a few years ago.
Yeah, this film coming out earlier would have really helped her character. She really deserved more story.
Yeah, a sequel to this would have been great. And I mean, I'm sure there's a way to do it if you really wanted to try to do it. But yeah, it's a great character with a great story that finally came on screen.
It just sucks that it took this long. But
you still got to appreciate what we got, and I'm grateful for it. Even though it does feel at times like Marvel was just like, all right, here for the fans, now stop. That is what it felt like a little bit. Like, you know, here you go, bro. Yeah. Like, that's what they were doing. Mm-hmm. Guys, what did you think about Black Widow? Let me know in the comments section. Also, please like, subscribe, and whatever, all the stuff that I have. And thanks for watching.